You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and today it looks like we are going to pick the fight for Anderson Silva's swan song here against Uriah Hall, which brings the UFC back to Vegas after a nice little stint in Abu Dhabi, where last week we saw the great Khabib Nurmagomedov retire. By the way, I nailed it on those fight picks. I definitely picked him. I definitely picked Robert Whittaker. I think I got a few other right as well. But what a card, man, and what a finish for Khabib. But we're in the now here. We're talking about Saturday, Halloween at the Apex, and I am definitely ready to pick some fights. I'm not real familiar here with Chris Gruetzemacher, who is taking on Alexander Hernandez at lightweight. But I wanted to pick this fight because Alexander Hernandez was like the next big thing after knocking out Beneil Dariush, but he went on a bit of a little skid there, and so let's just talk about this for a moment, okay? Beats the Canadian gangster Olivier Aubin-Mercier, knocks out Beneil Dariush, and all of a sudden just gets beat pillar to post by Donald Cerrone. Does win in like an ugly little decision against Francisco Trinaldo, and then loses to Drew Dober, who's a real big up-and-comer too. Now let's talk about Gruetzemacher. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. I looked it up before this. I can't remember what it said. And by the way, this is on Periscope, YouTube, whatever. Feel free to comment, say hi, subscribe, follow, whatever, because this is a bonus MMA Fight Picks this week. Bonus. All right. Oh, he beat Joe Lozon a corner stoppage, but he hasn't fought since 2018, okay? Before that, 2 losses in a row, Davi Ramos, Chaz Skelly. So none of this really matters. Hernandez just fighting May of this year. I'd like to think they're trying to build Alex Hernandez back up. Excuse me, just because of his marketability. And it is of note to mention that he dabbles in real estate. That's right. So, there you go. Why is that important? Because, maybe somewhere down the line, him and Al Iaquinta fight. Bobby Greene fighting again against Thiago Moisés. So, let's take a look at Bobby Greene, man. What a good story for this guy. Let's see. How many times has he fought so far in 2020, okay? June, August, September, now Halloween. That's 4 times in 2020 this guy's fought, and he's not been beaten yet. So he could very likely have 4 wins in 2020. And the year's not over yet. Who knows? He might fight again in December. Kind of crazy to think about, but I don't know. I've seen stranger things. But let's take a look at his last 3 here. All decision wins against Clay Guida, Funky Lando Venata, and Alan Patrick. Now take a look at Moisés. Oh, yeah. He beat Michael Johnson in a fight Michael Johnson was winning. Big surprise. Before that, a loss to Damir Ismagulov. Before that, he wins Kurt Holobaugh, loses to Beneil Dariush. Golly. So really alternating the wins and losses here. I think they're kind of teeing Bobby Greene up for this one too. So I don't know how you don't pick Bobby Greene. Let me know if you disagree, but you shouldn't. Greg Hardy, Maurice, Greene. So what's up with this one? All right, let's take a look at Maurice first. Okay, a really weird win against John Vellante because I don't know that he submitted him with the arm triangle choke so much as Vellante just gassed it. Before that, submitted by Alexei Olenek, knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich. Does have wins over Junior Albini, Jeff Hughes, and Michel Batista, rather. Yeah, man, this is interesting. So I don't know how good Greg Hardy really is. He just got beaten by Volkov, I believe. I'm gonna look that up and make sure, but oh yeah, yeah, and he did just win over Jorgen De Castro, a decision. I don't know, man. You know what? I don't know. People are picking Greg to win this fight, and I don't know. I like Maurice Greene just on the experience factor. He's going with the best of the best. As long as you don't, stay in a trade with Hardy, get trapped into his power or whatever. I like to think that I just want Greg Hardy to win. I'm probably picking with emotion here, so don't bet based on this pick. But Maurice Greene is going to win this. All right. Kevin Holland, he's like the next big thing all of a sudden because a lot of people are talking about this guy. Kevin Holland. All right. And this fight, hang on a minute here. This is important. I need to make sure. Is this fight? It's at middleweight. Interesting. This fight is at middleweight because Kevin Holland, if I'm not mistaken, I thought he was a welterweight. No, he's a middleweight. No, he was a welterweight. Thank you. 2015 to 2017, but he also has fought at middleweight 215 on up. Okay, that makes sense. See, I do know a little something every so often. All right. So this fight at middleweight, a lot of crazy ass things happen at middleweight. You got Chimaev, coming up to middleweight to beat Gerald Meerschaert. Middleweight all of a sudden is getting kind of interesting. But let's talk about the wins that he does have. Kevin Holland here he beat Gerald Meerschaert as well. Golly. Alessio Jakurko, he lost to Brendan Allen. I can't talk. Brendan Allen last year. Wins over Anthony Hernandez, Joaquin Buckley, Darren Stewart. Now, I was ragging these guys because not a lot of UFC experience, not even a Wikipedia page, but Charles Ontiveros, the American bad boy, he's got like the Red Rooster haircut going. Coming into the UFC, something to prove, but there's no UFC jitters. However, he's even got a loss to Michael Page back in 2015, so this guy, a welterweight as well. Yeah, they're obviously trying to build up this Holland kid, so I would say it's probably easy money for Kevin Holland, and he's on the main card, which is kind of crazy, considering like Hernandez is on, the undercard, way more well known, you would think, but yeah. Going Holland, baby, going Holland. Andre Touchy Fili against Bryce Thug Master Mitchell from my neighboring state in Arkansas. Of course, I'm from Missouri there. If you didn't know, now you know. Andre Touchy Fili, probably one of the best nicknames next to Mark Hand of God Beer. That was a good one. I think there's one I'm forgetting I really liked as well, but not the most relevant part of this podcast, okay? Let's look at Andre Touchy Fili first. Beats Charles Jourdain, split decision back in June. Before that, loses by decision to Sadiq Youssef. 2 wins before that. Shimon Moraes, I think he sends Miles Jury to Bellator before that. Yeah, man, a split decision loss to Michael Johnson, a split decision win, Bermuda. So, this guy plays it close to the vest here. I'm going to see what he had. He did have that finish in July of 19, but not really a finisher, okay? Not known for that, but Thug nasty. Is he going to get a twister on Andre Touchy Fili? I don't know. I don't think so. But people are labeling him here as the underdog, and I think he is. I think he is the actual underdog here, but Daddy doesn't see it because I think, I don't know, he hasn't lost. Okay, just beats Charles Rosa. Twister on Matt Sales, Bobby Moffitt. Very interesting here that he is such an underdog because Touchy-Feely, I mean, not a real killer either, but I think Bryce, this is my underdog bet of the night here. I think Bryce Mitchell. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to be able to handle anything. I think he's smart enough not to trade with this guy. Bryce, Thug Nasty, in his camo shorts, Mitchell. The main event of the evening, the swan song for Anderson Silva here. And, everyone here is welcome to help me pick this fight. But I don't know. Let's just get into it first before I make my prediction here. Uriah Hall, probably the most mental guy in the middleweight division, because he's a killer. But I think he takes it easy on these guys. Just split decision over Antonio Carlos Jr. Knocks out Bevon Lewis. Loses by knockout to Paulo Costa. And that would have been his real opportunity, the title here. Loses Jaco. This is back in 2017. He hasn't fought yet in 2020 because I want to say it's because Anderson Silva pulled out of their last planned fight. And, yeah. But Anderson Silva, I'm trying to think here because just had that weird loss to Jared Cannonier where he got leg kicked and quit. But, I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what happened with the leg. We thought it was broke again. We thought it was a repeat. I'm sure he's got some trauma left over from Chris Weidman, the All-American, when his leg snapped over. Whoa. I remember watching that live thinking that no way that just happened. No way that just happened. But loses by that leg kick to Jared Cannonier. Loses to Israel Adesanya, the now champion. Has a win over Derek Brunson, which I didn't think he won. This is back in 2017. So, yeah, Anderson not fighting since May of 2019, over a year ago. About a year and a half ago, honestly. Here's the thing with the Israel Adesanya loss. It was the decision. I felt like that was a sparring match. And I felt like, maybe Israel was just kind of testing himself that night. I don't know. But he was certainly beating Anderson to every punch. He was certainly quicker than Anderson. I don't know. People say it was a respect thing. Israel didn't want to hurt him. I don't know. I think it was more of Israel testing himself, doing it that way. But I don't know. I don't know. I see lots of people here joining at the end, so feel free to help me out. But, Uriah Hall, as streaky as he's been, is coming off a couple of wins, man. And, I'd like to see Anderson, of course, all the entertainment he has given me throughout the years. I'd like to see Anderson go out on a W, but alas, don't see Anderson Silva doing it. Yeah. And, if Uriah Hall does happen to lose this fight, I don't know where he goes from here either because Anderson's not exactly in his prime here. But here's something else to consider. What if Anderson's on the roids? It's his last fight. He knows he's not going to re-sign with the UFC. What if Anderson Silva is on the roids for this fight? He's got a little extra something, a little extra traded. And I'm not saying he is on the roids. Don't start labeling me that guy, but possibility. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But however, I think Uriah Hall's going to win this fight. Thank you all for watching. And, until next week, I think there's some fights next week. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, well. Anyway, shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.